Well, we're jumping into the mulligan and we see a hunter versus shaman here. So that's going to be an easy, just not a crazy start, just decks we know.
Yeah, common picks here by Ratje and Fireflam. Normally the shaman is pretty favored against this, against the hunter, but we see Ratje having a really bad hand. If he mulligans everything away, and
he
gets
has
something
to.
Yeah, but if he gets something like the same, it's going to be really hard for him to win. Ooh, but he picks up two really good cards here, the Totem Golem and the Tuskar, but the Totem Golem prevents him from playing the Tuskar or the Argent Horse Rider the turn after.
Yeah, that looks a little bit bad here for, bad for Ratje as a start, but you never know. You can come back into this game. There is a possibility to coin out the Flame Juggler or the Toad. And then have a good 1, 2, and turn 3 here for Fireflam, and that gives him an awesome start. So I expect him here just to coin that Toad out. But knowing Fireflam, he likes to take his time and think about it, even on turn 1. And
yeah, it's turn 1, so that's the turn you have to rope for sure. You have to think about your game plan here. Nah, it's good to think about. He has he has actually only one choice, right? He has to coin out that Toad. And the good thing about Toad is that when Ratje goes for that Totem Golem, he has 2 juggles to kill it off. So that's actually really... Ooh, and there's the second Totem Golem. That's so good for Ratje, because he didn't have a good play here next turn.
Yeah, so the thing is going to be that, yeah, he has 2 juggles, Fireflam has, but they are both going to go into that first totem. So that next totem, he cannot kill it off with his bow. Yeah, maybe his animal companion, but yeah.
Animal companion is pretty huge. If he rolls something like Misha, Ratje doesn't have a proper way of dealing with that. Is the Flame Juggler gonna hit the Totem Golem here? Let's see. When instantly hitting it, if the juggles didn't hit that Totem Golem, Fireflam would be so far behind. But Ratje has another Totem Golem here, and it looks really good for him. He has an insanely good curve with that Totem Golem into Tuskar, into Horse Rider, into Doomhammer. Or if into Tuskar, into Doomhammer, actually.
Yeah, he has only one option. You don't Totem here, you just go for Totem Golem. And you will be overloaded for 1 next turn. But, ooh, that Carrion Grub here. You want to develop a minion here. If you just bow and trade your juggler, that feels really sad, but...
Yeah, let's see. Fireflam can decide to go for Animal Companion. And even also the Huffer and the Misha are really good draws. But if Fireflam rolls into that Leo, then he's gonna have a really hard time with dealing with everything on the board.
Yeah, but you have 66% chance to go for that one. Carrion Grub helps you trade better the turns after. But yeah, you don't develop anything that is... I feel like animal companion is the way to go. If you just go for bow, you lose. You definitely trade.
Yeah, you just go for animal companion here. Fireflam is saying this time is like 5 3-drops in his hands. So there's a lot of choices here, but
you know that his name is not the Fireflam on the rope, right? It's yeah, he goes for, he doesn't take the risk of the animal companion, goes for the trick. Wow.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's actually well played. Now he forces Ratje to trade into the Flame Juggler. Otherwise, this Totem Golem is going to get traded away with the Eagle Horn Bow. But even the Unleash the Hounds can now clear it off. So it forces Ratje to trade into the Flame Juggler. And now Fireflam did 2 damage more than trading himself.
Yeah, so yeah, it was good for him to rope here, think about his turn, and get that 2 extra damage in. Tuskar
can be really good. Tuskar can be really good here. If he rolls another Totem Golem or a Manatite Totem, that's going to be really insane for him. He's going for it. Argent Horse Rider not doing that much against that 2-3. Is it going to see...
Wow,
Ooh,
mana!
Manatite.
Yeah.
But the big question is, do you trade away the Flame Juggler here? I think you do. Playing around a little bit, Unleash the Hounds. Another card here for Ratje. Wow, that Manatite Totem is so good.
There's a Camel.
Yeah, that's one card you definitely don't want to play here. You're probably going to give your opponent a 1-3.
Why not? Just give him a tunnel truck.
Yeah, you can trade it away with the bow though, but I don't think you want to do that. You want to remove that mana type totem for sure.
Yeah, you do. So he has some options here. He can go for the animal companion. If he plays Unleash the Hounds, he clears the board.
Yeah, Unleash is clearing the board, but you don't develop anything, so you lose a lot of board control after that.
Even Leok is fine against Tusker Totemic.
Yeah, Leok, Misha, I think it's so hard for Fireflam. He has only 3 mana cards in his hand, and he's on 4 mana. He must be pretty sad about this hand.
He has 5 3 mana cards, and 4 is in between. Well, decides to leave that mana tide totem up. He has a bow to clear it next turn.
Yeah, but Ratje must be really happy now. Oh, and there's the Rockbiter weapon in combination with the Doomhammer already in hand. That's gonna be huge. But is Ratje deciding to trade away this Garrison Crow? I think he has to trade it away, right?
Yeah, just Ardent Horse Rider and the Flame Tongue Totem gives you enough damage to clear the... Or do
you can also go for Argent Squire, Rockbiter on your Argent Horse Rider, and then leave your Mana Tide Totem on 3 health, so you won't get punished that hard by Unleash the Hounds.
That's also a possibility. And yeah.
I don't think you need that Rockbiter as burst on your Doomhammer to win the game. If you get board control against Hunter, you will probably win the game from that anyway.
Well, you probably played as Argent Horse Rider, and well, he decided to go for the Flame Tongue. So yeah, he's gonna keep the Rockbiter for the burst on the Doomhammer. Draws into another card, so he has drawn 3, I believe, from the Mana Tide Totem already.
Yeah, really good for him. Yeah, now Fireflam can do a really good Unleash the Hounds, but he still has only 1/1/1 left on the board if he plays that card, and that Flame Tongue Totem can be pretty good afterwards. Fireflam really wants to develop something. He can also decide to go for that Stranglethorn Tiger and go for a double 3-drop next turn and take some damage, but Ratje has a lot of burst already in hand. He has the Doomhammer Rockbiter with a follow-up with 8 damage. He can even go for a lethal setup probably next turn. Can deal 16 damage, and he has 8 damage in hand as burst, so if Fireflam decides not to trade everything.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty messy if he doesn't. So yeah, Unleash the Hounds, Hero Power feels like a great turn here. But he goes for the Stranglethorn Tiger, so maybe that's the play that if you want to win this game. But now with the second Lava Burst in hand, that is... I have no idea how Fireflam is going to win this game.
There's actually no way. Ratje can deal like 16 damage now, put Fireflam on 8 health, and then burst him down with Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt next turn. So this is game for Ratje, but he has to find it first before he decides to do... What is he thinking about?
I think that he knows that last week he didn't play that well with the Shaman. Nope. And he just wants to take his time, make sure that everything is right.
Yeah, he's probably recounting it multiple times. And he finds the correct player, dealing 16 damage to the face of Fireflam, leaving him at 8, and now that Lava Burst Lightning Bolt is gonna win him the game now. Fireflam doesn't know yet, but there is no way he's gonna win this game anymore.
No, there is not, and he even has to clear the board. And how do you do that? You have Unleash the Hounds, yes, you do.
And then you have to roll with the Animal Companion and Misha, otherwise you don't even have a town, so you will get even 4 damage from the Doomhammer.
Yeah, that's true. But we know that it is over, but let's see what Fireflam cooks up here to try and win the game from this position. Maybe just go for the Desert Camel and see if you get lucky or unlucky today.
Yeah,
test your luck.
Fireflam must know on this point, right? He's losing, right?
I think when he stopped drawing into good cards in the early game, that he knew that this game was not going to go his way.
No, but Shaman is pretty favored against the Hunter anyway, so it's not a surprise that Ratje is going to win this one. Especially the aggressive version of Shaman.
So now we build a pretty good board, but 2 lava bursts are gonna seal the deal, and it's a 1-0 for Ratje, and he keeps the dream of going to the finals alive.
The only thing Ratje could have done was just conceding there and not showing the Unleash the Hounds to Ratje. Because there is a chance Hunter doesn't play Unleash the Hounds. And now you're showing your opponent some information. You showed that you play Unleash. And if Ratje plays with another deck and he knows, oh yeah, that Hunter played Unleash, so I'm not overextending. So
yeah,
that's a small thing though. But
that's also something to keep in mind when you play this kind of setup. If you play weekly tournaments, so with every week the players can bring new decks. You never know what the deck is of your opponent, so they're not playing with the same decks for 8 weeks. And yeah, so that information of what kind of cards are in a deck can be pretty important. But the firevlam decided that it doesn't matter that much to show the Unleash. So we're gonna see now the Mage versus the Shaman.
And we see the Tempo Mage of hot form, I guess, with the Acolyte.
Yep.
And we see Ratje made the switch to Tempo Mage. We saw him playing multiple times Freeze Mage in this competition. Didn't work for him that well. And now he decides to bring the Tempo Mage. So I'm really curious about how this is going.
Yeah, me as well. So indeed, it's not the RDU kind of, it doesn't look like the RDU kind of Tempo Mage. So I don't expect there to be flame strikes in there.
Yeah, maybe he made some adjustments himself. You know you play in a tournament format, you know you're probably gonna face a lot of Shaman, a lot of Hunters, a lot of Zoo, so...
You want a Flame Strike in there.
You want a Flame Strike, especially against Hunter is so good, where you can play Flame Strike after that Call of the Wild comes out. So strong.
So pretty good opening ahead here for firevlam. Has a Tunnel Truck, Abusive Sergeant and an Argent Squire, and wow, also a great pickup here by Ratje.
Yeah, nice mulligan there. But firevlam is an insane start with 4 1-drops. Wow.
So now he has to choose. Which one do you play first?
I think you do Finley. Finley is by far the strongest here, I guess. Getting that good hero power in as fast as possible, but also gives you the opportunity to trade with the Mana Worm when you play the Abusive Sergeant.
Yeah, it gives you the most options next turn. You probably because you have 3 health, it's not gonna get removed, or your opponent has to coin out a Frost Bolt.
But we'll see what's gonna happen here. But I think playing Tunnel Truck on turn 1 where you don't have any overload cards in your hand is pretty bad, because you want to have value out of it. So Finley is the best here. firevlam decides the same. Ooh, Fire Blast can be really huge, but Steady Shield is also pretty good. But I think Fire Blast is still better though. You want to have board control against Tempo Mage. Wow, firevlam decides to Smorg. He's a really aggressive player, as we know from last week's, but I think that the Steady Shield is a little bit too aggressive here.
Well, the Steady Shot can put your opponent on a clock if you get the tempo on the board and stick there. Then that hero power is gonna put a lot of pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, but most of the time when you play like the aggressive decks against each other, most of the times it's decided by board control and not about life points. So, and Ratje decides already to waste his coin and his mirror images, even though he had that Flame Raker in hand. But he wants to develop a good board. That Mana Worm is trading almost with everything firevlam is gonna play now.
Yeah, now you have to think about that Abusive Sergeant and that Mana Worm. Because if you use an Abusive Sergeant right now to clear one of the mirror images, you cannot use it on one of your drops to clear out that Mana Worm, or even that Flame Waker that might come down 2 turns after. So is it smart to play the Abusive Sergeant right now, or do you just go Tunnel Truck and Argent Squire?
I think you have to clear one of those mirror images, and also that Abusive Sergeant contests the second mirror image pretty easy. And if the Mana Worm decides to trade at the Abusive Sergeant, you still have a good trade on everything. That Argent Squire can still kill off that 3-1 Mana Worm. But and also that Argent Horse Rider can make a really good trade on that Mana Worm. But that's also the thing why you should have picked Fire Blast instead of the Steady Shot.
Alright, so yeah, now the question is, do you hero power on that Abuse Sergeant, or do you play Cult Sorcerer?
I think hero powering is way better. Getting a free kill on the Abuser Sergeant is pretty good. And then you can trade away the Finley also.
Yeah.
And at least your opponent only with a 1/1, and that 0/2 town is protecting your tree pretty well. And if you play Cult Sorcerer here, everything is probably going to trade it away so easily.
Yeah. So good choice here of Ratje to go this route. And there is the 4 mana 7/7. That is going to be pretty big. And yeah.
Yeah, that Horse Rider is pretty good here. Can trade away the 0/2 there. Leaves him up with 2 minions with Divine Shield. And then the follow-up with that 7/7 is going to be huge. And we see no Fireball in the hand of Ratje yet.
No, so he needs to draw into something. He cannot clear the board. Well, he can use his hero power and then attack with the Mana Worm. But that's not going to be favorable for him. And alright, so we see the Argent Horse Rider clearing up the final mirror image, and of course you keep those Divine Shields up. They are so important, and then he draws into an Arcane Missile. That's insane. But do you want to play it now, or just do you want to keep it for later?
It looks pretty good now with the Cult, in combination with the Cult Storage. You get 4 juggles, so there is a possibility you clear both minions. But
you can also do Arcane Missiles and your hero power.
Yeah, that's also actually pretty good. But it's the same amount of juggles. But the good thing about your hero power is that you can choose what juggle. Oh wow, there's the first phase hit. When double phase hit, that's actually really bad for Ratje here, because now that Horse Rider is gonna trade away that Mana Worm so easily. But do you trade the Mana Worm, or do you trade that Cult Sorcerer? Because Cult Sorcerer can give your opponent a really good Arcane Blast.
Yeah, it can give a great Arcane Blast, but also if that Mana Worm stays up and he has, say, one good spell, then that trades into that Faceless. So yeah, I would trade into the Mana Worm. It's
true that. It's probably the same amount of damage if he has the Arcane Blast. Because then the Mana Worm will get 5/2, so that will also be 2 damage extra.
Yeah, there are more spells that can kill your Flame with Faceless if you leave up that Mana Worm instead of the Cult Sorcerer. So yeah, it's gonna clear that and then play the 7/7.
Yeah, now Ratje has to find a way of removing that 7/7. It's gonna be really difficult though. Oh wow, that's actually pretty good. You can play the double Cult Sorcerer, ping away the Argent Horse Rider and go face there.
That's
and
true.
just ignore that 7/7 for a few more turns. And firevlam also has to decide, like, do I kill those Cult Sorcerers? Because those are pretty scary. That spell damage in Mage is actually pretty good. You can have that Fireball for 8 damage, maybe even Frostbolt for 5, and you're pretty close to dying if you take another 6 damage. And Ratje has some burst in hand.
Yeah, so now we see the Tunnel Trog and the Flame Tongue Totem as an option to put in even more damage, and then that Cult Sorcerer, one of those Cult Sorcerers has to trade into that Flame Tongue Totem. You can also trade. You don't want to use your Lava Burst on one of those Cult Sorcerers, so it's a pretty hard choice here for Fireflam.
Yeah, it's really difficult for Fireflam. You can go for Tunnel Trog, Flame Tongue, but when you make a play like that, you have to trade one of those Cult Sorcerers with your 7/7, and that looks so awkward because you want to deal that damage. Oh, he decides to Lava Burst one. Go face there with a Flame Red face, and as you can see, that Steady Shield is actually doing nothing every single turn. While the ping could be really good later on in the game to ping off maybe a minion.
Yeah, so a draw from the Azure Drake draws into a Sorcerer's Apprentice. No spell. And that is pretty big here, the first spirits with the Tunnel Trog.
That's an insane draw. It protects him his life points and also gives him 3 really strong minions on the board. And that Feral Spirit also contests the Cult Sorcerer, and Ratje only has minions in hand while he is looking for those spells to combo with that Flame Waker.
So yeah, another 7 damage to the face, and now the pressure is on for Ratje. He has maybe 1 turn left.
And there is finally that fireball Ratje was looking for so badly all those turns. But I think it's gonna be a little bit late though. Can go for Apprentice, fireball the Flame Red Phase and clear those Feral Spears, but there's still that Tunnel Troll up, dealing 5 damage next turn in combination with that Flame Tongue Toad and putting Ratje on 8 HP with that hero power.
Yeah, but there is no such thing as 8 damage being drawn, so Ratje has 2 more turns left to deck for something more.
And maybe he's even thinking about waiting 1 more turn so he can combo with the Flame Raker, but I don't think you can do that, right? You have to kill that Flame Red Faceless.
Yeah, and you have to trade here as well. But the Azure Drake stays on the board, that's pretty good. And then the Lightning Bolt, so...
That's like for a 3, and then the Tunnel Troll get buzzed to 4, so that's 7, 8, 9, 11 damage. That's 11 damage for Fireflame. You can put him on 4 HP and then put Fireflame on a 2-turn clock there.
And he decides to go for face.
But if Fireflame doesn't pick up any damage yet, there is a chance Ratje can still win this one. He's out of cards now, so it's gonna be really close, man. It's gonna depend on the top decks of Ratje and Fireflame.
But he finds another draw with that Azure Drake and an Arcane Intellect, so...
Not doing it here.
Yeah, but he can draw 2 more cards.
Oh, exactly, you can. Yeah, he has that Apprentice on board. And if he finds something like Arcane Blast... Oh! What a draw by Ratje. He finds that Arcane Blast to deal with that Tunnel Troll. And now, if he goes face, he sets up for lethal, right? He puts 7 damage into the face.
Yeah, but...
Put him on 11, and he has exactly 11 damage on the board.
Yeah, that Flamington Totem is not gonna matter. If there's an Argent Horse Rider, you're dead anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, there's a Totem... Ratje's taking away this game, wow.
Yeah, Fireflam went for it. Didn't draw into what he wanted, but Ratje did, and he's gonna go 2-0 here. Yeah, Fireflam knows it, and he concedes.
Wow, well played by Ratje here. And what is left? No, Fireflam did he win the first game?
No, Fireflam is 0-2 now.
Oh, he is. Wow. So he has his warrior left, right?
Yeah, he has his warrior left, and there with that one he has to defeat the hunter, the shaman, and a paladin, and I believe that is the secret paladin. So
really curious about what kind of warrior it is. It can still be a pirate warrior though. We didn't see any of those, but I saw a lot of them last weekend in DreamHack.
Yeah, so if it's a temple warrior, it can struggle against shaman, against hunter, and against that secret paladin.
Yeah, I think that you have the best shot against secret paladin with all your whirlwind effects.
Yeah. And it's going to be worse against hunter. So Fireflam might go for hunter here. Hopes he wins, then shaman, then paladin. That's what I expect here from him. So yeah, he's still in the game. He's taking his time just to think things over. And
we jump into the 3rd game of this 3rd match. And we see the warrior from Ratje, like, it's the only deck left in his lineup there. Wow, as we can see, we see that South Sea deckhand. So this is gonna be that pirate warrior. And we see that Wolf Rider in the deck of Fireflam.
He loves his Wolf Rider.
Yeah, he plays in a lot of decks. He played in the Face Hunter. He plays it in his Shaman too in the last few weeks. A lot of charge. Does he also play the pirate? Charge.
So yeah, Corcoran Elite. Yeah, a lot of charge, a lot of weapons, a lot of damage coming to your face. So it's gonna be a race for the face. But that also means it's going to be a race for board control, because if you don't have board control, there's no racing to the face, and but the weapons are going to make a big difference here.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for Ratje to win this. Like, the hand of Fireflam is so good, and Ratje doesn't have a good hand at all. He has a pretty good curve, but he's missing the weapon. And that's a really good juggle for Ratje there. Ooh, there's the upgrade. Now he's looking for that weapon, so he can play a weapon into upgrade into the Dread Corsair for free, but
Yeah, that you need a weapon for the Dread Corsair, but yeah, just ignore the Flame Juggler, and that gives Fireflam 2 targets for that Flame Juggle and Flame Juggler here. So probably gonna hit it. No, hits the face again.
That's so good for RatJe, especially with that Rolling Berserker card.
And a little banter here by the players. That's insane.
Yeah, but
Fireflam is so unlucky.
Yeah, that was pretty unlucky there. And now we can play Rolling Berserker, trade the Loot Hoarder into it, and make it a 4/4. And that deals with the Flame Trigger is so good. Even though that Flame Tongue Totem is coming out, the Flame Tongue Totem is actually giving no pressure at all.
No, it's not. But still has its Rock Biter to do something. But
RatJe was probably thinking about drawing first. But that's actually pretty good. Now we can go for results.
Wow, and he finds a Lava Burst.
Yeah, but do you want to go for it? You don't want to overload yourself for 2 for next turn. But you have that Lava Shock in hand, but still you don't want to overload. I think Flame Tongue is pretty good here.
Yeah, Flame Tongue and then Wolf Rider next to it. Next turn you have the Wolf Rider and the Rock Biter.
Especially, yes, you can do that. If you play Lava Burst, your next turn is going to be really awkward though.
But you have Lava Shock.
Yeah, but still. We will see what Fireflam can decide. He has that Lava Shock in hand, so there is a slight chance he's going for that Lava Burst play. He's probably thinking about the next 3 turns. That's why Shaman is pretty difficult sometimes. You have to think about that overload. You have to think like 3-4 turns ahead. What am I going to do? What am I going to do next turn? How many overload am I going to have in the 4th or 5th turn? So it's not that easy as people think.
So next turn he has a Lava Shock and that Flame Tongue Totem as well to do enough damage.
Really good turn here for RatJe. He has that first minute into upgrade, giving the weapon 2 attack, and also can play Dread Corsair next to that, and that's so good for him. Probably gonna attack the face with 2 damage here.
But there's a clear for and even a 1-drop here, so yeah, you can Lava Shock the first mate, then use your Rock Biter weapon to clear, and even play the Argent Squire. You have the board.
It's pretty good here for Fireflam. Can make a good board clear, even develop an extra minion. Don't lose this Flame Jar. Pretty good for him. And he also has a lot of cards left in the hand that can deal with the cards of RatJe. And RatJe is running out of cards, so he's hoping that Sir Finley is going to give him that life tap to get some extra cards in.
And next turn you have that Wolf Rider and Flame Tongue Totem that are 5 mana. So if you go for that Rock Biter, Lava Shock and Argent Squire this turn, you'll also know for sure that you have a good turn next turn. So yeah, it looks like Fireflam is going that route. He's going for the Rock Biter to the Dread Corsair, and yeah, takes the board here. And that weapon, that upgraded weapon, that cannot trade with any of these minions.
There we go. Argent Squire. It doesn't look good for RatJe, but he still has that Finley. Can he get that life tap in? That's the only thing that's going to save him here, probably. He's going to take a lot of damage with that Flame Tongue Totem into Wolf Rider next turn.
And he loses the armor up. Let's see what he discovers. It's Fire Blast, Steady Shot, or Lesser Heal.
Fire Blast also really good. It can deal with that Flame Juggler so easily, and can also deal with that Argent Squire the turn after. Oh wow, he's going for that Steady Shot.
Yeah, he agreed.
He has a game plan. I'm gonna smoke this guy down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the baddest smoker. And it's actually a pretty good plan. He has that Mortal Strike in hand, and he knows he's gonna get below 12 health pretty soon. And there's the second Wolf Rider. This Fireflam is playing some aggressive Shaman here.
Yeah, you just go for the Flame Tongue Totem and the Wolf Rider here. You probably trade with your Ardent Squire into the Finley, and then.
Do you want to trade actually? You don't want to trade 2 minions into your Sir Finley, right?
Oh
no, you play your Flame Tongue and then you trade it. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can play Flame Tongue in the middle, trade it away, go face with 4, put your Wolf Rider next to the Flame Tongue for 5 extra damage, and then you dealt like 9 damage to the face, so you will be at 15, and it sets up for lethal next turn.
Yeah. So that's a good plan here for Fireflam, and he knew at the last turn that he could set up for this one. So yeah.
But the good thing also is that you put your opponent on 13 health, so double Mortal Strike is not killing you.
Oh, it's 15 even.
Oh, you don't even have mana for that, so what am I even talking about?
So yeah, 15, yeah, it's exactly lethal if he doesn't trade. But that Wolf Rider is so uncommon in Shaman. I think that ratje is not expecting the Wolf Rider here.
No, he was like, wow, Wolf Rider, that's a lot of damage. It's a 5-1 charge for 3 mana. It's so strong together with a Flame Tongue Totem.
Yeah, so he has 8 damage. That's not enough.
Definitely not, and he cannot risk going full phase here, especially with all the burst left in Fireflam's deck, with the Lightning Bolts, the Lava Burst, eventually some other charges, double Horse Rider, even another Wolf Rider.
Taking out that Flame Tongue Totem looks pretty good, but the question is he going to use that Fury War Axe or the Mortal Strike?
Flame War Axe here is so weak because you're losing your other weapon.
Yeah.
But I think you have to do it. How bad it sounds.
Maybe. No.
Well, he's scratching his beard, Magni is, and yeah, he goes for it.
Good play by ratje here. Overthinking. What can Firefly have to? Whoa!
He's going face.
Yeah, and that sets up for lethal. Yeah, that's actually not that bad for me, but with so many bursts left in the deck of Fireflam, I think it's greedy.
I almost thought that Fireflam was going to play the Wolf Rider and then attack, but you have to attack first, because otherwise you miss 2 damage. So, yeah.
But ratje was also thinking, what can actually kill me here? He can draw like Doomhammer, that's 4 damage, so that's not killing me. Lightning Bolt is not killing me. Lava Burst was already played, so the chance he has Lava Burst was also really small. So I don't think it was such a bad play. You're not playing around a second Wolf Rider, right? Especially in this meta.
But if you know Fireflam and if you studied your opponent, well, then...
you should have done that, yes.
But yeah, great play also from Fireflam. Planned that out pretty well. Used that Lava Burst on that Frothing Berserker. It was a good play. Planned out his turns pretty well with all the mana management. And yeah, it's going to get an exciting match.
Interactive face versus face.
But well, ratje tries to keep his dream of going to the finals in the Amsterdam Arena alive, and Fireflam just wants to show that he can play some Hearthstone, and he's showing it.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who's putting a lot of effort into practicing, learning about the game, and he really has that drive to get better. He's in Easy Visualize now, and I know the players who left Lowland Lions are now playing for Easy V. So he has also a lot of good practice partners now.
You're talking about ratje, right?
Ratje, yeah, sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I thought.
What did I say? Did I say Fireflam?
Yeah, you did. So we see Noble Sacrifice. So we know it's a Secret Paladin, maybe a little bit better than Hunter against Inspired Warrior.
Yeah, it is. I think Fireflam wants to do his good matchups first instead of the worst ones. You see ratje finally drawing a really good starting hand. He has that upgrade, really important. I'm not sure. Oh wow, he's milling everything away. I didn't play Pirate Warrior at all, but wow, this hand looks way better. Okay, I won't say anything anymore.
No.
And Fireflam mulligan also everything, but gets some awful cards back with the Blessing of King's Uldamon. Does have the 1-drop that he was looking for. But hey, he's still at the Toad on turn 2.
Yeah, he does, and yeah, that Nazad first made into Upgrade and Bloodsill Raider, that's gonna be so much damage.
It's gonna be such a good curve for ratje. He goes for Nazad's first mate, and then next turn he can go for Upgrade into Bloodsill Corsair, but maybe even coins out the upgrade already to deal 2 damage to the face.
That's also a possibility, and because of the weapon and being upgraded, the Dreaded Corsair can come out on turn 3 even, so yep, pretty big.
Being that 1 damage in, yeah. Next turn he can go even go for upgrade coin Dread Corsair, or maybe he's saving the upgrade for later on with that Arcanite Reaper already in hand. There's so many lines of plays. I didn't play Pirate Warrior a lot, so I'm not really 100% sure.
What you want to do is you want to pressure your opponent as much as possible, and you don't know if this is an Azad Paladin or a Secret Paladin yet. you know when the huge toad is being played, but if there's a hero power, then you might think that's Nazad, and you just want to go as fast as possible. And
Yeah, definitely. Well, that upgrade in Arcanite Reaper is so insanely strong, so maybe he's saving it. There is that toad. But now upgrade is also really... Oh wow, Horse Rider. Maybe he's even pointing out that Horse Rider, but I think upgrade into Bloodseal Corsoir or into Dread Corsoir seems pretty good, right?
yeah, the Bloodseal develops the board. The Dread gives you a ton. It's looks like the right way to go. Let's see which route. Yeah, the Bloodseal comes on the board here for Ratje. And he's gonna trade away that frog and hopes that it doesn't hit the first mate and attacks first.
And it's going face again. Fireflame is so unlucky with his juggles though. Yeah, and Ratje knows it's turn 3, so there's no True Silvers, there's no Consecrations yet, so pretty good.
The only player is the Steward. But he picks up that Consecration. That's not gonna do that much.
No, not that much. And that Steward also is gonna trade it away so easily with that. And the Zot first mate with Horse Rider or first mate with Weapon.
And that's the problem with these aggressive decks in the pretty tempo-ish aggressive meta that we have right now. That if you get behind and you don't have a good mulligan and a good opening hand, you already almost lost the game. Unless your opponent doesn't draw into the good follow-ups. But we see already the Argent Horse Rider in the hand, the Dread Corsair, the Arcanite Reaper, and turn 3, 4, and 5 are pretty good here. So yeah.
Even that second Bloodseal Raider is really, really good. He can play that, trade the 1/1 and the weapon into it. And then you play so hard around True Silver and Consec. Yeah, True Silver seems good, but you take so many damage as a paladin if you trade your weapon into that 4/3s.
So I think he goes for the weapon and the first mate into the Steward, and then play just Horse Rider, because next turn you have 2/2 drops, and you keep that the Divine Shield on there.
Let's see what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, protects you also against Consecration, so pretty good turn here for Ratje, and he feels that his dream is still there.
Yeah, he can. If he wins this, he's probably he has a 3/3 score, right? Or is he going 4/2? Actually.
If he wins this, let me check it. If he wins this, he is at 3-3.
Okay, pretty good. So if he wins that last match next week, he's probably going to the Amsterdam Arena. So he is playing his best as he can, so he can make it to the finals. And I know he really wants it. He's practicing a lot, so...
It depends, because if Nora wins, then there's no much chance for Ratje. But if Nora loses, then it's Nora or Ratje next week that goes to the finals. So, yeah, pretty intense. But let's see what firevlam decides to do here, because it's a really hard turn. You definitely don't want to consecrate, so he has to tempo Uldaman.
Yeah, it feels so bad, though. And now you're gonna take a lot of that. Ooh, and there's even more burst with that Mortal Strike. And now you have another Bloodseal with a Dread Corsair, and all your minions are 3 health. So that Consecration is so awkward in your hand.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think he just ignore the Uldaman and just go face.
Yeah, play Dread Corsair, play Bloodseal Raider, go full face there.
Maybe.
Well, there's actually nothing that's gonna punish you. There's no way you're gonna see a quality Pyromancer there. And Consecration is not doing it, True Silver is not doing it. There's actually nothing that can really punish you there. Just go face and pressure Ratje. And next turn even that Arcanite Reaper is coming out for even more damage there.
Yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle here for firevlam. He needs to find the impossible to stay into this game. He gets outsmorked.
Yeah, you see Ratje is playing for his last chance to get in the finals. He's playing it so safe here. He knows he knows I have to win this. I cannot give firevlam any opportunity to come back, but he's maybe playing it a little bit too safe. But he's already so far ahead, and he can make this kind of plays. He can play it a little bit safe though.
Next turn there will be 15 damage coming in if that Horse Rider dies, and then that Mortal Strike will seal the deal. There's no Reno Jackson, no way to heal for that for firevlam. So Ratje knows 2 turns and then it will be over, and at least he's hoping for that one. So yeah.
Yeah, and also there's no forbidden healings and stuff in the deck of firevlam. So is there a way firevlam can turn this game around? I don't think so, right?
I'm thinking about it really hard, but I cannot think of a solution for him either. So
No, he has he has to find a Reno. Maybe he's playing that Reno list from Mate last week. Repentance coming out. And Consecration. Yeah, maybe he's...
maybe you sound like Magni. Sorry.
What?
You sound like Magni Bronzebeard, who says
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe. How many damage is this? It's 15, right?
Yeah, it's 16 damage.
There we go. Wow, there's a lot of damage here coming in for Fireflam. Setting up for lethal. Can Fireflam find an answer though for this board and his life total?
There is no way he can do this. Not even with that rallying blade. That's gonna be it. That is Ratje who keeps his dream alive, going to the finals. And it's 3-2 for Ratje.